Hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm 21 and living with something called Systemic Scleroderma. It is an autoimmune disorder which most people usually don't get diagnosed with until they're at least 30, but I was actually diagnosed when I was 17. I remember I was living in LA with my dad at the time for the summer. I was in a children's theater production of Peter Pan as Tiger Lily. There I am with my beautiful friend Sarah, who played Smee. She was hilarious. So it started off as like a minor annoying pain in my foot, which I just assumed was normal. It would go away. I'd been dancing a lot, so that's probably what it was. But it didn't go away. It actually spread to my other foot, and then to my ankles, and then to my knees, and then to my shoulders, and then finally to my wrists and my hands, and kind of see it in my face. But I was also dropping weight like crazy, which I will get to later. So before this all started, I was your typical pudgy high school girl. It's funny looking back now because I had always had an easy childhood. I was always a healthy baby, and my family was usually pretty well off. I never really wanted for anything that I didn't have easy access to or I didn't already have. As ridiculous as it sounds, as a child I would often wish that I was sick so that I could ride in one of those stretchers that they like put you on, they roll you away, because I just thought that looked like fun. Or I wanted to know what it felt like to be in a hospital with people worried about you and caring for you, just because I'd never had that. I'd never experienced anything like that before. I never needed to. And in high school, there were so many times I told myself, you know, if only I were skinny like those models in the magazines, my life would be perfect. I wouldn't want anything else. I'd be happy. Well, there's definitely truth to the saying, be careful what you wish for, because I got all of those things. By the time I graduated high school, the week before I turned 18, I had dropped 50 pounds. I actually dropped 50 pounds in about the span of 3 months, and that was horrifying. And my hands looked like this. See how like the joints? Can't really. Of course, there were many nights of me crying myself to sleep and crying during the day, crying for no reason, wanting to put myself out of my misery. That was kind of dramatic. And just feeling very isolated and alone in what I was dealing with, because well, it's a very rare condition, obviously, and like especially at a young age, so none of my friends really could relate to me, although they tried, and I really appreciate them for that now. But back then I'm just like, no one understands me, and I was being difficult. I'm definitely planning to elaborate on my full story, in addition to occasionally maybe vlogging, just to show you guys how daily tasks that most people take for granted can really be complicated by having a chronic condition like scleroderma. Things like holding your toothbrush or writing, I had to like reteach myself to do all of that. But I don't want to give it away all in one go. I do want to be able to span this out into like a series of videos, because heaven knows I have a really short attention span. Look, I made this. The main point I wanted to get across, though, was that having scleroderma has ultimately been a blessing in disguise for me. Even though I've lost inconsequential things as a result of it, I've gained such a great brand new perspective that I wouldn't trade for anything. So if you have a chronic condition, or if someone you know has one, I'd love to hear their story. You know, after my diagnosis, the biggest comfort and the biggest emotional support was hearing all these stories of people going through maybe not the exact same thing, but who had chronic conditions and knew and understood what I was going through. I've actually been learning a lot about different diseases like POTS syndrome. I just recently stumbled across that, and rheumatoid arthritis, which is very similar to what I have, and fibromyalgia, and just all these other stories and these incredible people that just lift each other up, and it's just been really amazing. I mean, it's just a really big deal to know that you're not going through this alone when you've gone maybe a long period of time thinking that you're absolutely alone. No one is alone.
Believe me, no one is alone. No one is alone.
Well, bye! Thanks for watching! And subscribe, because I will be posting more videos here, maybe.